Today, we become legends.
Hey, my name's Inter, and welcome back to the channel for an Aladdin closer look blog that they just released. Of course, Aladdin is going to be the next newest god to Smite 2. It's been a while since we've had an all-new god. It feels like Mordred is like a veteran of the roster now. We've had him for a long time, and that's probably because they've been working on porting a lot of Smite 1 gods to increase the roster size rather than focusing on new gods. But Aladdin is going to be coming in the January patch, and we have a closer look blog here going over like some ability information, general like stuff about him, lore, artistic direction, all that kind of stuff. And I assume with them releasing this closer look post now, probably today's Titan Talk reveal, they're doing one every single day this week, it's probably going to be Aladdin, so we'll probably get to see him in game and more information on the Titan Talk, which I'll probably have a video covering that as well. So make sure you subscribe to the channel so you can catch that one when it comes out. But for now, we've got a closer look blog post to go over. So his title going to be the Sultan, the Tales of Arabia Pantheon is what he's going to be under. Gameplay specializations are melee magical damage, interesting. So this is our third like melee magical like kind of damage dealer, I guess. You know, we had Alquang, we have Maran Brigitte, and now we've got Aladdin as well, going to be dealing magical damage. He's going to be strength intelligence hybrid, mobility focused, and teamfight disruption focused. So who is Aladdin? From a resourceful street urchin scraping by with his mother to a sultan guided by powerful genies, Aladdin's journey spans poverty, deception, magic, and unexpected fortune. Once an aimless youth known more for his misdeeds than his ambition, Aladdin found himself caught in the web of a cunning sorcerer. Disguised as a caring uncle, this sorcerer promised Aladdin wealth if he would retrieve a mysterious lamp from a dangerous trap-filled cave. Expecting the young man to meet his end, the sorcerer underestimated Aladdin's resilience and the power of the lesser genie hidden within a simple ring he provided. Through the genie's aid, Aladdin not only survived, but secured the lamp and the powerful genie within it. That moment set him on his path from an impoverished mischief maker to a leader of his people, gaining wealth, influence, and ultimately earning his place as the Sultan. In Smite 2, Aladdin has reached this pinnacle. Surrounded by loyal followers drawn to his optimism and charisma, he rules with the lamp's genie at his side, yet uncertainty looms. Whether it's the sorcerer's machinations or a watchful eye of the gods, Aladdin will face these trials head on. His past has prepared him to make the most of any opportunity, and the genies ensure he won't face his struggle alone. So yeah, definitely sounds like the genie is going to be a big part of his gameplay in Smite 2, which is really cool. I think if they were going to do Aladdin, they kind of had to do that. So of course, he's going to be under a new Pantheon, the Tales of Arabia. Whether we'll get more characters in this Pantheon anytime soon, I have no idea, but it's pretty cool to have a new Pantheon in the game. Also, cue the comments of people crying about the fact that they haven't added like a Mayan god or something in ages. I feel like that always happens when they add a new Pantheon. People complain that some of the other Pantheons need more representatives. One of the first challenges we faced was deciding which Pantheon Aladdin should belong to. We initially considered placing him as an Arabian Pantheon, but the region's diverse cultures and historical deities deserve a more carefully considered introduction in the future. Instead, we chose Tales of Arabia Pantheon for Aladdin. This literary tradition, drawn from 1001 Nights, includes a broad range of stories and influences. It better reflects his specific origins and leaves room for exploring other figures from these classic tales down the line. So this is quite an interesting comment, you know, initially considered Arabian, but that deserves a more carefully considered introduction in the future. Maybe at some point we will get an Arabian Pantheon, which is going to be kind of weird. We'll have Tales of Arabia, but then also the regular Arabian Pantheon. Probably they don't have any concrete plans on like actually introducing that. They're probably not working that far ahead, but that's kind of interesting that we might get an actual Arabian Pantheon that is a bit more like historically tied. Moving on though, we got the core themes of Aladdin and the Genie of the Lamp. From the start, we knew that the Genie of the Lamp had to play a central role in Aladdin's design and abilities, 100%. If they didn't do that, it would feel fake. In the original tales, their relationship varies, but we wanted to emphasize a dynamic partnership. Aladdin as the optimistic dreamer, sometimes too trusting for his own good, and the genie as the steady, no-nonsense ally who keeps him grounded. Visually, Aladdin's attire reflected his elevated station, but remains practical for swift, agile movement. In contrast, the genie is built to look powerful, with attacks that emphasize raw strength, forceful pushes, and clear displays of might. The lamp's genie may attract most of the attention, but the ring genie also plays an important role, helping Aladdin survive the treacherous cave and claim the lamp. We represent this influence with accents of orange and gold in the magic Aladdin wheels, visually distinguishing it from the lamp genie's signature blue. So yeah, it seems like there's going to be some abilities that rely on Aladdin himself doing the things, and they're going to be represented more in orange with the ring genie, and then some of the abilities are going to be done by the massive like bulking genie that's going to be in blue. So that's going to be a pretty cool like artistic direction, I think. Aladdin's journey from poverty to rulership is inseparable from the wishes granted by the genie. To capture this essential part of the story, we made sure the ability to invoke these wishes was woven into his gameplay. Players will feel firsthand just how much of a difference these wishes can make. So yeah, we have seen a little bit about these wishes in the data mining. I'm not sure if they'll go over it in this post. If they don't, they'll go over it in the Titan Talk later today, so we will get this information, but they look very interesting. So when people think of Aladdin and the genie, certain iconic images spring to mind. We began asking, where in Aladdin's journey should we place him? Should we show him struggling in poverty just discovering the genie, or after he has fully fully embraced his role as the Sultan. We also considered how his combat style would influence his clothing. If he's meant to fight with agility, what kind of attire would reflect both his noble station and allow for swift, precise movements. The concepts below highlight how we balance these factors. We knew Aladdin needed to look regal yet mobile to showcase the influence of the Ring Genie, and the final color scheme that blended really well with the colors of his magic and players would recognize more readily as Aladdin. And so yeah, you can see some concepts here of what they initially went for with Aladdin. You can see that all of them have a relatively mobile clothing, maybe A2 not quite so much. But then they also went with, you know, some different color schemes. You got kind of like a more teal, and then you got like some more deep blues in there, some reds also as well, a lot of whites. Looking really sick though. In even earlier iterations of Aladdin, we investigated how he would portray his iconic lamp, from it being a smaller side ornament to the sole weapon he used. That would have been quite cool. Sounds like they didn't go with that though. We played with different ideas at this stage. However, as we discussed Aladdin himself, along with the Genie of the Lamp being more of the focus, the location on his back to be called forth for his ultimate made the most sense. So yeah, it seems like it is going to be held on his back, kind of like this. Floating would have been cool as well. Handheld being his weapon could have also worked. Dual wield, he's just holding a giant lamp. There's some really cool concepts here, man. But it seems like the Genie himself is going to be more involved in the kit, and therefore they didn't want like him wielding the lamp as a weapon. They want him to bring out the Genie for his abilities. That's what it sounds like. Next, we turned our attention to the Genie of the Lamp. The early Genie concepts below show a range of body shapes, weaponry, personality, and moods. At this stage, we weren't certain how physical or grounded the Genie should be. Experimenting with different silhouettes helped us define the Genie as a powerful stabilizing force, someone who would complement Aladdin's optimism and bring a sense of strength and reliability to the duo. So yeah, you can see some here, like in this A concept, he's clearly a bit old, wise, decrepit kind of thing. And then you've got some that are a little bit more fancy, and then some that are really bulky, some that are even fat. So yeah, some really cool concepts here, honestly. Like a lot of these could have absolutely made it work for me. I like B the most, I think, out of all of these, just at a first glance. Also, Aladdin's going to be, I feel like, another one of those gods where unless he's super popular, he's not going to get many skins, man. Because it's kind of like a Cullen and Fafnir and stuff where like you got to make two different models if you're going to make skins for this guy. So hopefully he's popular so he actually gets some skins. Because popular and difficult to make skins for results in situations like Fafnir. Once the gameplay kit began to shape up, the concept team worked closely with designers and the VFX team to nail down the ability visuals. This collaborative step is where we ensure the continuity between story, art, and gameplay. Seeing the Genie perform specific combo attacks helped guide the animation team, who created rough animation passes to test these ideas in-game. Combo attacks, that sounds cool, man. It was here that details like Aladdin's magical-based attacks, slicing through the air with mystic energy rather than a traditional blade, came into focus. I like that. I think that's good. This helps solidify how Aladdin and the Genie of the Lamp would fight on the battleground. So you can see we got a bunch of ability concepts here, which we'll go over. So for the passive, it seems like he kind of releases the Genie. It like performs some kind of magic and then probably returns to the lamp. You've got his basic attacks with some cool like trail effects. As they said further up, a lot of the Aladdin-based abilities are going to be orange themed, and the Genie-based abilities are going to be blue themed. So you've got the AO1 where he seems to call out some kind of like runes. Maybe they will like fly forward and deal damage or something, and then it seems like the Genie can kind of like also add an extra projectile to that or something, or maybe call them back. The ability 2 looks like some kind of dash where he also gets this like a cool like trail behind him, probably does damage, maybe pushes as well, and then it looks like the Genie can maybe come in at the end of the dash and like slam them into the floor or something. That looks pretty cool. The ability 3, this looks like from the data mining, the wall run that was showcased in the data mining, it looks like that is going to be true because he is definitely running up a wall there. It looks like you can jump off, and it looks like maybe you can also send the Genie off as well to hit a different location potentially. They'll probably explain more of this further down, to be honest. These just like visuals. But then the ultimate as well looks like he kind of calls forth the lamp and then brings people into it or something. Buffs inside the ult arena, lamp inside of the arena. So yeah, it seems like the data mining was pretty accurate with this one. He is going to be able to pull people inside the lamp and create a duelist arena, which I think is an absolutely sick mechanic. They'll probably explain it further down here. So Aladdin's strength comes from the agility and grace he developed in his early years, combined with the magic of the genies who aid him. This unique blend lets him excel at chasing down enemies and delivering sudden bursts of damage, all while dealing magical damage, a rare niche in Smite. So yeah, it sounds like he's going to be that traditional magical assassin similar to Ao Kuang and Bam Brigitte, which is really cool. We don't get a lot of reps of that kind of playstyle in Smite. And I think magical damage definitely does fit Aladdin, you know, with all the genie stuff. Aladdin runs along walls, leaping onto his opponents. That's what we saw earlier, calling upon the genie to amplify his attacks. Drawing on the power of the ring genie, he summons Kufik's script before him, combining them into a single word of power that devastates his foes. He calls on his genie to return the word of power to him, catching his foes off guard as it returns to them. So yeah, sounds like this first ability here. Like he fires out stuff and then the genie can like call it back and it probably does damage on the way back as well, like a boomerang. Aladdin gracefully dodges their return attacks, slicing through them with bands of magic. It may seem Aladdin has shown his full hand, but with a quick wish for power, Aladdin unleashes this flurry of attacks all over again. So yeah, it seems like the data mining was pretty damn accurate with this one. In the data mining, there was something that said one of the wishes immediately resets your cooldowns. But keep in mind, if the data mining is correct, those wishes are once per game. So once per game, you can choose to reset your cooldown. So there's going to be a lot of like skill elements there. You know, you do not want to waste that on something where you already have won the fight. You want to make sure it turns the fight for you, kind of thing. In the aftermath of this battle, a single foe flees from Aladdin. Seeing this, Aladdin throws his lamp at the foe, trapping them inside the lamp with him to face Aladdin and the genie of the lamp all by themselves. So again, yeah, the data mining was pretty accurate. Seems like you throw the lamp at someone and you create like a 1v1 death arena. So unique gameplay features. Aladdin is a hybrid god. While all his abilities scale both strength and intelligence, his core abilities scale mostly with intelligence. Those who want to focus on the genie's attacks can build strength to augment those instead. Interesting. So it says all abilities use both intelligence and strength. That is very interesting because there's a lot of items in the game that give both, and it's going to be really powerful on him. You know, stuff like Shifter Shield is probably going to be super good on him if you want a bruiser item because it gives both on the passive. And a lot of hybrid gods, you know, like Ares, for example, like his chains scale with strength. They don't scale with strength and int, and his flames scale with int. They don't scale with int and strength. Whereas basically what they say here is all of his abilities use both. So no matter, you know, if you're getting any small amount of like strength, even if you're building mostly int, it's still going to be very valuable for you. But they do say as well, if you want to focus more on the genie's attacks, which seem like some kind of follow-up combo attack from your regular ones, those are going to scale more with strength, while Aladdin's abilities themselves are going to scale more with int. So if you want to build more around the genie, you can build more strength. You want to build more around Aladdin's initial attacks, you can build int. Or you can build a good mix of both and hit pretty hard with both of those types. Tag team style gameplay with refires for his first 3 abilities to combo with the genie. I like this a lot, man. I like this. So it seems like all of his basic abilities, probably not the ult because it's kind of a different thing, but all of his basic abilities are going to have some way to refire them and call down on the genie. And if he has relatively low cooldowns, you're going to be able to just constantly be switching out. Like Aladdin does something, the genie comes in and smacks him and then goes back, and then Aladdin does something again and then the genie comes in. It's going to be quite cool, I think, visually. 3 one-time per match wishes. So yeah, as I was talking about earlier, they are once per match. Aladdin can wish for wealth, immortality, and power. An offensive-oriented dash that deals increased damage the lower an enemy's health is. So that seems like it's maybe going to be this ability, which is kind of crazy because he's got a wall run that it seems like you can jump off of the wall, and then he's also got a dash, so he's going to be very high mobility. You know, this is going to be almost like Circuit Syndrome, where Circuit has a dash and a jump. This guy's also going to have a dash and a wall run / jump, which is going to be pretty nutty. And finally, the 1v1 ultimate with a twist. While the fight goes on in the lamp itself remains on the map, allowing for anyone to join in the contest. Yeah, so I assume you can probably like interact with it or something, and anyone can like hop into the lamp and join the fight. I wonder how long it's going to be of Aladdin playtesting before we get a game where like someone lamps someone and the entire like enemy team and your team come into the lamp and it's a 10v10 inside there. That's going to be carnage. But yeah, Aladdin thrives on speed, quick thinking, and the unwavering support of his genie. While the agile movements are the right wish at the perfect moment, he can slip through enemy lines and turn a close call into a decisive win. Embrace his clever tactics, outmaneuver your foes, and prove that as Aladdin, the Sultan of the Rise, no challenge is ever out of reach. And you can see here, we've got a card art. This was actually leaked on the PTS yesterday, but this is Aladdin's card art. And yeah, I gotta say, he looks pretty sick. Like him himself, I like the clothing. I think it looks good, but the genie specifically looks amazing, man. I think that's gonna be super fun to play with. Let's just hope he looks this good in game, right? It often is that the card art looks a lot better than in game, but honestly in Smite 2 that's less so the case. I think generally stuff does look really good in game because of the new engine. But yeah, he's looking absolutely sick, man. I'm super excited for this release. We'll get to see more on the Titan talk later today. I'll probably have a video out covering that as well, so be sure to subscribe so you don't miss that. But yeah, this looks really sick, and so far, they're 2 for 2 on Smite 2 God releases, in my opinion. I think Akate and Mordred have both been really good, especially compared to the later releases of Smite 1's life cycle, where like they were just kind of like meh or like actively bad designs like Matikaras and Baka Kujira. So definitely a big step up in the Smite 2 God releases so far. They seem to be using the new tech really well. I think Akate and Mordred are both great designs. And hopefully Aladdin will be the same. Cool little magical jungler. Maybe some flex potential, but it seems like they are aiming in mostly at being a magical assassin jungler. But yeah, what do you think on this initial first look of the kit? We'll get to see more later, but what do you think initially? Let me know down below, and I will catch you guys for another one later on. Have a great day, and peace out, you nerds.